Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Switchboard. I'm your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. If you are interested in finding out more about our hosts and shows, there's always new shows and new hosts that are coming onto our network. You can head to uprntalkradio.com to find out more about our hosts and shows. If you were part of the show last night beneath the hollow moon with my dear friend and co-host, there she is, Laura Lee Potvin, she dropped a little nugget at about the 10-minute mark about potentially a new host that's coming onto our network that has me very excited. So you guys are going to want to pay attention to what's happening with all of that. What else have I got for you guys? So next week, I'm just going to keep plugging it for everybody. My time slot, so Spirit Switchboard is going to host the UPRN Halloween party for all of the UPRN hosts. So I don't know who's coming. It is a drop-in, say hello, hang out for a while. I am going to do my best to have some fun interactive games for us to do. Kind of, I don't know. In my head, I think I'm going to create all of these like some kind of online bingo game, but I also have a still crazy schedule because it's spooky month. So in spooky month, I did really well today. Because I had the podcast tonight, and I'm very excited about my guest today. And I didn't really have a lot of pre-planning to have to do. So it turned out great because I had a PD day, my very first PD day with my granddaughter. So she is 5, and we got to hang out and go have lunch with my daughter, with her auntie B, and relax. But up until this point, it's just been a go schedule. And prior to last weekend. So last weekend was the Lake Superior Paracon in Thunder Bay, which was a lot of fun. It was very fast paced, lots of stuff going on. If you follow any of the folks that were there, they've got lots of pictures that you can check out. I have a lot coming up. We have the Paranormal Dining with the Dead at the Coach and Lantern on the weekend. I have some new paranormal equipment that I'm really excited to bring. It is a 250-year-old limestone building where they housed prisoners in the basement and they hung them in the back, which is a lot of energy in that space. And the first time that we did the Paranormal Dining with the Dead there, we had them like turning the lights off and on in the hallway going into the room, those spirits. It was just so much fun. It was a lot of fun. So there's that. And what else? Dining with the Dead, sort of back to back. And I'm doing an event with Guelph Urbex here in Guelph on Devil's Night. So October 30th. Jacqueline has all kinds of fun things planned at the Albion downtown here in Guelph. And we will be doing a midnight seance, which I will be leading, which is super exciting. Then we have the Halloween party. And November 1st, I will be at the Station Theater in Smiths Falls doing the Love Life Afterlife event. It is my first time there. I'm really excited about that location. I see Astrolite Paranormal. So Victoria and Maria, her daughter Maria, met me, and we did a quick tour, and we went out for lunch of the theater. So Astrolite Paranormal is the only team that has investigated there before. So the VIP folks that are going to be joining me at the station on November 1st are going to have that opportunity to investigate the theater with us. So it's very exciting. And I'm glad that Canada Post finally did whatever they needed to do, because I ordered the some extra equipment that I'm super excited about from GEC Paratech in the UK, which most of the equipment that I've purchased is actually from the UK, from GEC Paratech, which is super exciting. So I'm going to say, I'm actually going to read the bio because off the top of my head, it's not going to work today, and bring my guest out. And then we will say hello to all the folks that have joined us in the chat. I'm very excited for all the folks that are here. And thank you so much for being a part of it today. Okay. Here we go. Guest bio. Tina Beckham is a soul plan practitioner and intuitive guide. Tina helps individuals reconnect with their authentic selves through soul plan readings, a transformative interpretive system rooted in ancient Hebrew numerology and gematria. I probably said that wrong, even though I practiced 3 times, so I'm apologizing, folks. She achieves this by decoding the unique blueprint each soul consciously chose before incarnating into this lifetime, where she provides clarity on worldly and spiritual challenges, innate talents, life goals, and individual soul destiny. Through her work, clients gain profound self-understanding that empowers them to step confidently into their purpose, navigate their incarnated lessons, and make tangible, positive changes in their daily lives. Folks, we'll let you in on a little secret. She did a little mini one for me. So you guys are going to be all in on my soul plan today. Because, I always am too much information. So very transparent and share. Here we go. Born into a lineage of gifted Celtic matriarchs, which that is so yummy. Tina's path as a psychic, intuitive, and healer has been lifelong. Her journey through diverse human and esoteric challenges has deepened her commitment to helping others understand their current incarnation's greater meaning. So please welcome Tina Beckham. There is some more to that, but let's see if we can. There we go. Oh, did you come up? No, let's try again.
Yep, I came up and I went and I'm back. Good evening.
Hello, you were in and out. Oh my goodness.
We made it. We made it.
I'm so glad. I want to change the banner so everybody can see your email address to get a hold of you, because I am sure that you will be receiving a few emails after tonight.
I hope so. That would be lovely.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Okay, let's scroll up and say a few hellos. Contessa Martins, hi there. Thank you so much for being here. Laura Lee, my dear friend, so host of the Angel Rock on Mondays and my co-host on Beneath the Hollow Moon on Thursdays. And she is going to co-host with me next week. And we are going to host the network Halloween party at this time slot. So 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday next week. James Grower, hello. The Wiz is in the house. Yes, indeed. Hello, Azria. So folks, you may remember Azria. Azria was on in August and September, and she did our galactic DNA.
Starseed family
for my sister, my niece, and my mom and myself. And so we have a third part that we are going to be doing just to tie it all up. So we'll recap all of that information that she shared, which really was fabulous to watch my mom process all of that information and where she's gone with it. So I can't wait to fill you in, Azria, about all of that. And I'm looking forward to part 3. Hello, Julie Dow. Thank you so much for being here. Carrie Fast, so pleased that you are here. It's always wonderful having you in the chat, sharing your wealth of knowledge with us as well, too. Kate Sterling, thank you so much for being here. Yes, it's supporting Tina. Contessa Martins, okay. Laura Lee, UPRN Halloween party. I know I'm going to be there with you for the 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours is a really long time, but we're going to make it fun. I'm going to obsessively be thinking about what we can be doing.
Oh, you got to do the bob appling, doing bob apples.
Oh, no. But I'm all for that game where you have to hold water in your mouth, and then two people are holding water in their mouth, and then you have to like share something and not spit water on each other. Whoever spits water first. Oh, I think that would be fun. Wow. Jen Schneider, I am back. We are all forewarned. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're back. You have been missed. Who else? Kate. Okay. I just want to, everybody's catching up with each other in the chat. That always makes me so happy when everybody's doing that. Right, Carrie? It was a lot. I understand that. Thank you, Kate. See? Lots of cheerleaders. And that's what we need, right? We need a community that is meeting us where we are at or can hold space for us, and we're moving along together, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for being here. Denise Mitz. We love when you overshare. Well, my Chihuahua brain obsessively thinks about all of that afterwards. So I have to learn to let that go. Don Davies, thank you so much for being here. So, hi. So RM9037, thank you so much for being here. Your Halloween mode, Laura Lee, is like TV worthy. It needs to be its own TV special. Like the Halloween decorating or the Christmas decorating shows. So we need one for you for Halloween. Okay, my friend, for listeners who are new to the concept of soul planning, what exactly is it and how is it different from astrology or numerology? Did we lose sound? Oh dear.
So although
there we go.
Oh, yeah. Are we there?
Yes.
How's that? Am I there? Oops. Are we back?
Yes. There was a little bit of a delay happening for you.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Right, we're back. Like you sort of said in my lovely introduction, thank you. It's very much about, it suggests that our soul makes certain decisions or agreements before we incarnate into our physical body. So how do we really access that? So we know there have been generations back, going back to Plato, that like the reincarnation. But if we bring it forward to the 20th and the 21st century, so although the soul plan reading is rooted in ancient texts, the second half of last year, there was an amazing gentleman called Frank Alper, and the star of creation, as we know as the Star of David, so the Gematria, he channeled a lot of his work into this, and it was around our worldly challenges, our talents, our goals, and our spiritual ones, and our soul destiny. And in the late 20th century, early 21st century, there is an amazing gentleman called Blue Marsden who actually wrote the Soul Plan book. And he's the founder of the Holistic College over here in the UK. And he's put on extended material, and his added new interpretations, affirmations, that's more relevant to the 21st century. And although at this point in time, we're going through an energetic transition, it's hope now that many people, through the understanding of their blueprint and their soul plan, can begin to really understand why they're here, the lessons they've got to learn, why they're going through what they're going through, and what are they here for. So once you know that, you can clear, you can make the right changes for you to make your life and the planet a lot better. So that's what we're doing. And the key for everything is in the birth name. So our birth name holds the key. So it's fundamental to who we are. So as a baby, there's no separation between the baby and the physical plane. So the name actually gives us our separate identity. Therefore, that is your main soul plan vibration. You can have name changes, you can have nicknames, but these are used to alter the experience. They are just, so it's a bit like your birth name is the cake. That's what is here to eat.
All about the cake.
It's all about the cake. It's always the food analogy, but you can put another layer in the middle, so you can put a different name in. You can put an icing on the top, so maybe you get married, or you can do things like that. So you can add it and take it away, and it all adds to the experience, either positively, sometimes not so good, but on the whole, it's all great. So
I have
that's
a
where we
question.
are with Soul Plan. Yeah, go on.
Sorry to interrupt. 2 questions. I'm writing as you're talking, so I can come back to it. So that we can do better for the planet. But that was really awful English right there. Collective consciousness. I think more people are becoming aware of that every thought, word, deed, or action ripples out to all of us. So everything we do comes to within our home, within our community, and out, right? So that everything, including that. So then my next question is, does our soul agree to that name before we're born?
It's
just free will. Do you know what I mean? Like our parents name us.
Does free will come into it at all?
Our parents choose the name for us. So has our soul agreed to that name that we are given?
So our parents, either we chose our parents or our parents chose us, chicken and egg. Which one was it?
Yeah.
So when we're on the other plane, we choose our lessons. We choose our lessons, we choose our destinies.
Yeah.
And the people that help us to carry them out and to provide us with those lessons and things that go on this human plane are our parents, they're our friends, sometimes they're our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
disguised gifts.
Exactly. It can be the people that are the most awful to you, where you learn your biggest lessons.
They are.
So,
I'm grateful for them.
So we choose our parents to give us our name, to allow us to give us the blueprint so that we can start on our journey. So you could actually have, say, like your dad goes to register your birth and he goes down the pub and he has a few sherbets before, he goes to the registry office and he misspells your name by 1 or 2 letters.
Mm-hmm.
That is done for a reason, because each letter holds an energetic vibration that has a meaning that is attached to your name. And when you put all those letters together, as you will see, they create they create a meaning behind your entire name. Sorry, I stumbled a bit there.
When my daughter, I have to be mindful. But when my daughter was very little, her name is very long. So it's very long. So her first name, her middle name, and her last name. And she used to say, like, I'm never going to learn how to spell it. And so the good mom that I was, I'm like, sure you are, because kids will tease you. So you will. Because
yeah, that's it.
like, you will. You just will. And anyway.
Yeah. So that's the next one I'm going to do then.
We can do that.
Yeah. And I'll email it. Send it to me, and I'll email it to you.
She's gonna die.
I mean, we won't be doing the. Although we can do the meditation and do the soul. We can do the whole soul activation as well, because that's the thing that we're not going to do on here today. But there is a whole process that I go through before I do a soul plan, during the soul plan, and then when I present the soul plan, then we also do a soul activation, which takes like another half hour on top of that.
Yeah. And it does, for anybody that's on this path. I think about, it would be about 13 years ago now, when I would do sessions and anything brain related would come in, it would toss me for a loop. Like I would be very sick to my stomach immediately. And Archangel Michael kind of gave me this knock on the back of my head, and he's like, why do you continue to do that way? Like, why are you doing it that way? So giving him permission to download the DNA blueprint for my healthiest body, right? But it took 3 days, and you could feel it. You could feel it. It was like being in a pool of water in the summer. So when you come up, that temperature difference where down low it feels like you're in a bathtub. And when it got stuck, then I knew that there was stuff that I needed to address.
Yeah, absolutely.
And move it, right? So I appreciate the process that you
and it's about remembering. And when I see clients, it's, well, yes, of course that had to happen for me to do this. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So that's why that happened. It's
so
about
how can people tell when they're in alignment with their soul plan? And
they know it's like this. And when they're not, they go, oh yeah.
Does it feel?
I can see why that didn't happen. and how do I now make it happen?
Yeah, I call it stink eye tight butt.
Yeah.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. And it's so, when people are really ruminating and stuck in the muck, right? When people are really stuck in their story, their perceived or projected story. It's hard for them to understand that when they really get in alignment, it's just very magical. And even those hard decisions will feel lighter because it's in alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. And they chose that path. And once they realize they've chosen that path, and the reason why they've chosen that path, because I needed to learn that. And if I learn that, God, my life's going to be so different. But I had to learn that to get, everything is a lesson. That we've all gone through things in life we thought, at the time where you thought, why is this happening to me? Why?
I chose to work
next. And then you come out, when you're coming out of it, or even when you're in it, and you have a remembering or a realization, whether it's with or without the soul plan, it's all about remembering or realizing that, maybe I do need to make a slightly different path, because we know what happens. Because if we don't, the universe is only going to bring on something a little bit harder and a little bit stronger.
Right.
And it gives you a kick up the backside. You go, I don't really want to go there. And they go,
like a little kid. How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Yes. Oh, Carrie, I think we all can be stubborn. I think we
Yeah.
all can be stubborn, right?
Yeah.
We just have to reach that point where enough's enough, and we make a different decision. Laura Lee is sharing, my father chose my weird spelled name because of the mythology associated with it, apparently.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, yes. Carrie is sharing, yes, I got my butt handed to me, not in the right soul path. Does our soul path change?
It's free will. You can make your decision. You know, you've got your numbers there. You know, there's the positive and the negative of every number. You know,
so whether you're working against your
whether you're working,
or
so you may have, so like part of your worldly challenge.
Do you want me to bring up the chart?
I can explain it better if I do the chart. So
okay.
let's do
this, and then you can explain
I can explain the nuances.
How do I say it? Gematria?
Gematria. The Star of David.
Thank you. And the ancient Hebrew numerology. Okay, let's see if I can do this without mucking up. Yes, I can. We're just going to clear, cancel, delete the negative thought. No problem. I can do this. All right, folks.
Here she comes.
In my head, you've all been humming the Jeopardy. Yeah. Oh, so it's not there, right?
No, it came up and then it went. Oh, here we go again. Perfect. So I will explain this very, very quickly so that you can take it back down again. So as you can see, we have two triangles. One with the point facing downwards and one with the point facing upwards. So the triangle that's facing downwards, these are our worldly challenges, talents, and goals. So this is our life, sort of late 30s. Sometimes it's around about 32. Just recently, I've been having a lot of clients where the worldly part of their chart doesn't end until much, much later. But it's the worldly part is around I am. It's about the physical. It's about coming onto this physical plane and the challenges that we have. And then we have our talents that will be there to overcome our challenges. And then we've got our goals that we've got to reach to go through our challenges and the talents that will meet them. And then the triangle that is upward facing, that is our spiritual way forward. So that is from our sort of 30s up until the time where we go back up to source. And that's about, well, you know, I've got to this age. It's normally around our midlife crisis. You know, what have I done with my life? What am I doing? What have I got to do to move on?
Crying in the van.
Yeah, exactly. You know, excellent. So that's where we've got our spiritual challenges, talents, and goals. And then, you know, you can fold the Star of David up and then you can open it up like a beautiful flower with the petal in the middle. And that is our soul destiny. That is our core of who we are and what we're destined to be. So that's what that is. So I can start with your worldly challenge, Carolyn.
Well, that's right on track for that late 30s because it was shite.
Yeah.
It was a whole lot of shite.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just want to acknowledge something. Carrie is saying right now I am stuck on the negative soul path in the dark and out of gas with a flashlight trying to find my way to the positive road. Well, we are holding space for you, Carrie, and sending ways of support if you'll allow us.
Yeah. Happy to support.
Well, you can't read those notes or necessarily get a copy of that one because it's mine.
I can always see yours, Rob.
Screenshot and blow it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was.
I mean, if you, Rob, if you know, you can good old Google.
So with the notes, like these are the notes that are associated with my name, Rob. So I'm kind of teasing you a bit, but she did the soul plan or a short demonstration for us, the beginnings of the soul plan, using my name for you guys to see.
So you can see on the soul plan, it's quite small, but there are little little Hebrew symbols there as well, and they are actually attached to when we get your name, we work out the numbers, and then as the numbers come out, then the symbols are attached to the numbers, and they have vibration and meaning. So
does that help? Does that help, Rob? I don't know if that helps. Is that making it better, guys?
I will explain the symbols as we go along. So when we start a soul plan reading, we start with the worldly challenges. So as we can see here, you're an 11-2. So the first symbol there is Bet, and that is around wisdom and support. And it's got the celestial body of the moon. And then the 11, that's Kaf, and that's assimilation, structure, harmony, although you might not agree with harmony. It's in a challenge position. So we're not talking harmony here. And the celestial body is Venus, so the disruptor. So you've chosen the polarity of one of the most difficult challenges that you could have got out of all the numbers. So all the numbers in all the soul plans in all the universe, you chose the most difficult. Because by design, because you got the two
I talk about it all the time. I have chose what I've chose because I do not want to come back. And if anybody over there asks me to help volunteer, bang me over the head with a shovel.
Exactly.
I have worked very hard in this lifetime, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So you've got the 11, which 1 and 1 is 2, and then you've got the 2. So, double. In fact, it's almost a triple whammy. So this is the polarity of life and death. So it's about coming to terms with impermanence of the physical existence. It's about understanding that everything is changing, that people don't stay in our lives. You probably find that they come and they serve their purpose, and maybe they go and we don't know why. It's a really tough aspect. I can't say that. So you would often manifest loss and heartbreak in a form that brings you accelerated, so that you've got accelerated reality. It's a big slap round the face. So the 2 is wisdom and folly. So you've got a lot of polarities here. So you've gained your wisdom through life lessons. I mean, we had a little chat about this before we come on, but you were born with the wisdom, but you couldn't access it until you started accepting things and having your lessons. And then when you learnt your lessons, it came in big time.
I have a pretty cool story about that, which was one of the first pokes from the universe, right? That didn't get paid attention to until about 6 years after. So my kiddos, we were living on the East Coast at the time, and the boys are only 15 months apart. My oldest son and my second son were in the back of the car, and he says to me while I'm driving, he's like, "You don't need to worry about me when I die." And I'm like, "Beg your pardon?" And he's like, "I'm going to go back to heaven and be with God." And I said, "Well, that's a fabulous that." And I wasn't talking that way in our house at all. And he said, "Yeah," he's like, "Ryan and I were friends in heaven, and we chose to be brothers in this lifetime, and we chose you to be our mom,
Wow.
and we chose to teach you patience." And I was like, this is the kid
Wow.
who would like unlock the door in the middle of the night and take off. Like, we had to have alarms just for him, right? He was that kid.
Wow.
But yeah, he'd say, "I'm here to help you learn to be patient."
God, what an amazing guy. Wow.
Yeah.
So
For
as
sure,
you know,
kids are teachers, right?
yeah, well, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And even more so today with this
Agreed.
new generation that's coming through. So like
Our
your
crystal
granddaughter,
kids.
that's going to be something else as well. So
Yeah.
so you're a natural empath. And at this point, we're talking in your worldly part, you would lack awareness and be a little foolish at times, perhaps. Avoid goals, mood swings. I'm getting lots of ups and downs to the point of being really, there were times when you were in the depths of depression, I would suggest.
Yes, ma'am.
Really,
Not now.
really not good.
But that late 30s for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, and you were saying about your boys,
Yeah.
you have an amazing paternal energy. So you're not just mother, your father, your grandfather, you are all encompassing.
My kids used to give me Father's Day cards.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because you've got paternal
I played the
energy.
role.
You've got more paternal energy than maternal energy. And that's good for what you need to do in this lifetime. You struggled with getting your life lessons, and that's why you had so many kicks up the backside to say you've got to do it. You had a major fear of failure, and you were inclined to depend on others, but they just let you down.
I agreed to this, right?
Yeah, you did.
This conversation.
You
No,
did.
I meant our conversation.
Well, you did say you didn't want to come back. But on top of that,
I'm just teasing.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, but not only were you depending on others,
Yeah.
you were taking on their issues.
Yeah. Not anymore.
And then you were going, "Well, I've got all this. You've got to help me work it out." And they went, no, it's down to you now.
Yes.
So
is this mine or yours? That's what my kids ended up hearing, right?
Yeah.
For your stuff and helping.
Yeah. So the big lesson for your worldly challenge is, or was, because you've done it, is to see things realistically.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times when you couldn't even probably see quite straight. Your left eye was a bit out of focus.
I still am that way. Let's put a path in the backyard. Won't take much.
Yes. That's it. Yeah.
A pile of rocks got dumped in the driveway.
Yeah.
It made me cry. Like, what are we gonna do with that? But we made a path, and it was
absolutely. It doesn't matter. It's there. It is what it is. Absolutely. So your worldly talents not being making a path, but you've got another double number. So and the symbol that you've got there, which is like a little back to front S shape, is called a Dalit. And this is fertility and abundance. The celestial body that's attached to that is the sun. So with your talents coming into this energy, it's just so difficult. The polarity of fertility and infertility, there's a significant changes in fortune that you had.
Does that show infertility too?
Yeah.
Wow, eh?
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
it
I've
gets
had 4 losses.
yeah, I mean, fertility and infertility isn't just
Wow.
about kids. It can be about, getting money and losing
Right.
money. It could be getting life, losing life.
Mhm.
It's the polarity thing.
Right.
Um, so
And
but with you, when life gets you down, you make lemonade. You know, you're positive, you're radiant, you're highly intelligent, and you're very, very generous.
oh, I'm gonna tell my children you said that.
Yeah. You have your core, your physical core is an abundant nature. So you get a lot, but you give a lot. And as we know, energetically, the more you give, the more you get back. But you take it, Caroline, to a whole new flipping level that I've never seen before. So you have,
Compliment, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. You have a highly intelligent mind. This is what, I'm quite got a little bit of green envy here, because you can duplicate information exactly as it's given to you. So whether it's channeled, or whether it's someone that says something to you, or they wrote something down, you can duplicate that. You're like a facsimile. You're like a fax machine. Amazing.
But we're meant to be mirrors for people. That's how I see it,
Yeah.
everything, right? Like I
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
review and shift and
Yeah.
have accountability, and then be able to mirror that out to people.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 4-4 energy is all about abundance. So it's the energy of also the economically gifted. So you know that abundance creates abundance. And from an early age, you know that the energy flow is the key. Where energy flows, intention goes. I've heard you say that on your programs numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a very good knack of acquiring material possessions. But when you look deeper at true wealth, you found you were lacking. So you can do let's do the shop, the therapeutic shop. And then you go, oh, why did I do that? I didn't really need to do that. So your spiritual aspects.
And this is showing. I'm sorry, Tina. This is showing prior, right? Because
Yes.
I'm all about death clearing.
Yeah.
I'm all
So
about like not having a whole.
This is pre
Yeah.
30,
The dark time.
30s. Yeah.
Dark years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're naturally gifted at acquiring abundance, but now you give, you get, but you give. So this death thing goes to a bigger level. You'll see a bit later on. Psychic sense of smell, specifically the right nostril started coming on.
Yeah, I don't like it. I tell people
No.
that all the time. That
Yeah.
what
I'm
do they call
afraid
it?
that's
Clairgustance? Is that what it's called? Clairgustance?
Gustance. Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
fan,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
got
And
it.
and it's quite rare. It's
Is it really?
quite rare. Yeah. Well, I don't come across many.
Ugh.
I don't come across not as many as clairaudient. That
Yeah.
seems to
No, I've
be
got them all.
a big moment.
So
Yeah.
it's the
Excellent.
all. So when people
Excellent.
ask me how do I know about certain things, it's just cause.
Yeah.
And I try not to be open all the time, but depending
Yeah.
on the place where I'm at, it's just going to come in fast.
Ah, awesome. Awesome. So we move on to your worldly goals, moving on swiftly. I'm mindful of the time. So
We have
your
another hour.
Awesome.
We're good.
So you'll see your worldly goals is the same as your worldly challenges. So the mastery of the 11-2 is to stand strong in sensitivity. So we have the same 11-2 here. So we have the same symbols, wisdom and support, the moon, assimilation, structure and harmony, and Venus. But this time it's in the goal position. So you've got to get through all your challenges by using your talents to get to your worldly goals before you can move on. Hence, a really tough time of it.
Mm-hmm.
So through your worldly lessons, your goal here is learning to bring heaven to earth through emotional wisdom and intuitive action. And that, with your worldly challenges, whew, that's a difficult one for you. Hence, you had so many lessons at that point. So when both challenge and goals sit in the same vibration, it signals a powerful mirror dynamic. So the very energies that really feel difficult or blocking are also the keys to unlocking your mastery.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it's there, but you don't quite know how to get it. So it signals sort of like emotional refinement. So you had to have that spiritual awakening to get to your goal to move forward. So you had to have that big human experience. So the traits that used to feel like a weakness, so, sensitivity, oh, why do I feel like this? Why am I going through this? I think I know what I'm doing, but should I be doing it? And I should be like these people, or you're told you should be like this. Mums are very good at that. Well, why aren't you like Kara? Why aren't you like Janie, Carolyn? Why aren't you like Janie down the road? She's got this and you get that. No, didn't resonate at all.
No.
Good. The fact your greatest worldly strengths are integrated, you wipe the floor with Jane down the road.
Poor Heather.
Yeah. Oh, Heather. Yeah, exactly.
We wish her well.
Exactly. So the moon here plays a big significance.
Can I interrupt you just for 1 second? Just because James is reminding me that we do have to do the station ID right now. Ooh. So we're just going to take a second and do the station ID, and then we'll move forward. And also, I'm just going to put up here. Thank you, Laura Lee, for helping us out. Claire, aliens is smell.
Oh, okay.
Sustenance is taste.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Laura Lee. Okay. And thank you, James. So if you are just listening to us now, thank you so much for being here. You are listening to Spirit Switchboard, and I am your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. If you are interested in finding out more about our hosts and shows, you can head to uprntalkradio.com. There are thousands of archives for you to access. We are having the website revamped. There's going to be all kinds of new things going on. We've heard a merch store, potentially a chat, all kinds of stuff that's happening there. So please take a second to check things out. And it's not all paranormal either. It's not all paranormal and high strangeness. There's something for everyone. And on today's show, I have Tina Beckham on talking about soul planning. And we're eventually going to get in a Celtic Halloween story or two before we close the show today. But we did a little bit of a small energy exchange. I think that you did way more than what maybe I did for you, but I'm grateful that you allowed me to do my thing for you. And you have started the soul plan reading for me. And so far, like I wasn't sure I had not really heard of it before. Like I kept thinking about it as a past life reading or tapping into the Akashic records, but it's very different. And quite, it's weird. You know what? As you're talking, it's awkward. It's a little awkward for me too. But I don't recognize that person anymore because I'm not at that frequency anymore. But I hold a lot of gratitude and love for that me at that time period, right?
Yeah. It's about remembering.
Yeah.
It's about remembering all that we've been through
Mhm.
and why we had to go through what we went through to get to where we are now. So it's almost like looking at a shadow of your former self. There are traits that you will recognize, and because you've done so much work on yourself, you'll go, "Whew, been there, done that. Shut the door. Thank goodness for that."
Yeah. You don't
Some of
sit in it as long.
absolutely. There are some of my clients that are still sitting, 50s, 60s, and they're still resonating with their worldly stuff. And we're going, hang on, we've got to move you on from here.
Yeah.
And that is also part of my role, is after activating the soul plan and remembering and seeing what needs to be changed, with my other hat on, I can help move them along the path with whatever other modalities that actually come up that we might need to move.
They would need to consciously be ready to take those steps and accountability,
Absolutely.
right? And that's the hard part. People,
Yeah.
it's messy and raw and uncomfortable and snotty, ugly crying and probably a little bit of diarrhea too. Like, it's just nothing nice about it.
Absolutely. And, when we're babies, that's exactly all we are.
Mhm.
And sometimes some of us haven't moved but too far from that,
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting for my youngest son now that we're in the middle of this. Like, he came in seeing ascended masters. He came in on such a high level that when I tapped in for him, I feel like his role is to have a human existence this time, because he mirrored to me everything that his role was for me to get me on track in remembering. And so he taps in when he's needing to, but he's really having this like human experience, right? Because he was instrumental for sure.
Yeah.
Awareness. So right before we did the so I'll just bring it up for you really. There you go. Sorry. I wanted to find this. Oracle of
Love
Delphi
it,
is
2D.
here. Oh, sorry, Sparky. I need to be patient tonight. So Sparky's Paranormal and Outdoors. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. Fiona Clark, thank you so much for being here.
Hi.
So right before we did the station ID, you started to talk about the moon. Can we come back to that?
Yeah, sure. We can come back to the moon. So you really are in tune with the moon. And it's not just about the changing seasons and the height of the tide. For you, it's about being grounding and accepting your own female aging earthly cycles. That's exactly how, when I was meditating, how it came out in the wise woman that you are, because you are so spiritually gifted, but you also have this incredible grounding and knowing, and you work with the seasons, you work with the moon. And I think, it shows in some of your posts on Instagram, when you're sitting on your porch with your coffee cup, and every time it's a different one, that's you. That's the authentic Carolyn. Very much so.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Like, coming from that Celtic background generationally as well too. And when we're like when you said working with the seasons, do you find, and not that I want to get into a big debate with anybody in the chat about climate change, but it is a thing where we're shifting, like our seasons are shifting. Even the plants that we can plant is has changed, right?
Yeah.
So it has shifted sort of those rituals and the things that we do.
Yeah. I mean, when was the
Why not?
last time
Do you
that we
feel
had a white Christmas in the UK? You know, we still have Christmas cards with horses and carriages, but then again, we don't have horses and carriages anymore. We have cars.
right?
So I think we always hark back to what was supposedly better times, but
But there's a piece of us, don't you feel, sorry, that's maybe the wrong way of, I'm just going to roll that back in. There are times I would get homesick and did not understand that the homesick was really not connecting with my ancestors on the other side and bringing forward those rituals and that connection to them. When I understood that and started bringing more of that forward, that I was having less of that homesickness and understanding I could tap in, and I felt more grounded within myself. And I think having these sort of conversations and soul planning and understanding the remembering, like you keep bringing that word up, remembering, and I hope that's something that people will feel inspired when they're listening to our conversation today.
And I think it is very much it's about remembering. And it's remembering why we're here, how we're here, and how we need to look after not only ourselves, but our families, our wider communities.
Yes, because we all
Unfortunately,
need to be good, because we're all going to ancestor for each other at some point.
absolutely, and I mean, we had this horrible thing where we all had to stay indoors for a very long time.
Right.
And we went from the world is our oyster and it's beautiful and we can travel and we can do everything, to going into this foveal vision of you can't hug your granny, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's horrible. So we have a very narrow-minded picture at the moment, and it's down to us to remember how it was before, and start manifesting our hopes, our wishes, our dreams, and know that it is all energetically possible. I think, therefore I am.
Yes.
So
I just had something fall off the wall.
I know.
That's some big energy we got going on.
It's cool, isn't it? It's really cool. So shall we go to your spiritual challenges?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So we're now going to the upward facing triangle. Okay. So this is where we go from I am and oh my God, all these worldly human lessons to there's got to be something more. And there is, because you're a 6/6, which is Vav. Thought and creativity. The celestial body is Taurus. So we start off with a challenge, as we always do. So like a bull, there is stubbornness and there is rigidity. So that's what we need. That's our challenge. That's what Carolyn had to overcome. Once she got through her life lessons, I've got to start thinking outside the box.
Oh, so, I love being outside the box.
Yeah. So Vav is the hook. It's uniting concepts, but in the challenge position, it can sometimes get a bit out of hand. So the most creative energy in the challenge can be too many ideas.
Yes.
It can be like connections without any filtering. So one idea leads to another and you end up going down that rabbit hole, or you go down the rabbit hole and then you go, oh, how did I get here? And then you get the creative block. Mm-hmm. So that's the challenge, to sort of, how do I put the filter in?
Right. Also, so I don't have 12 canvases to the side of me currently.
Exactly. and not finished.
Stages of, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but coming out of your worldliness, there was a lot of anger. So, But specifically, you're not an angry person, but only when you're like overworked and if you were stressed, you know.
And
Some
I'm
people go
a
into,
cry angry person.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be careful of that scattered anger energy, because that can sort of get into the kidneys. So try and, you know, if you're angry, go drink a glass of water. It'll be much, much better for you.
Oh, I tell people to grab a garbage can and a baseball bat and head to the garage.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's got to move, right?
Yeah.
It's energy that's got to move, or a dance.
Yeah. Oh, dancing's good.
I used to teach it for a long time.
Oh, awesome. That's amazing. Though that's your creativity coming out there. So that's the creative.
Yeah, there's
the
creativity
channel.
all over the place.
Yeah. So the soul learning here is to heal wounds, specifically around love, because you were hurt terribly. Self-love, and to let the rejection go, because the rejection's there for a reason, because you think that they may have rejected you, but actually, you know what? You should have rejected them far before that. So release patterns of over responsibility. You're not responsible for the world. To learn true service must first arrive from self-love and not obligation. So you're not obliged to do any of that. It's all about self-love. So you've got a lot of people around you. You've got a great community, but there are still times when you can feel a bit isolated because you are so special. And special people do have this feeling of this isolation.
That's an uncomfortable statement for me.
Where do you feel that?
So special. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'll sit with it.
Yeah.
I'll do some cord cutting with it tonight.
Yeah, please do, because that is
I'll do some cord
that is a big key. You overcome that challenge, you'll find doors will open. Big time. The 6-6 challenge challenges your heart. And that's where the self-love comes in. You can love without losing yourself. Find yourself. You can serve without rescuing. You can be compassionate without carrying the world's pain. It's all within you. And I'm going to point. I know it's rude, but I'm going to sort of semi-point at you. So now we're going to go on to the good bit. Spiritual talents. 7-7. Lucky 7. That's Zayn. Now, this is the sword. So that's why you've got Michael with you.
There is a quick question.
Sure.
I think it will be quick. Sparky was asking, is Miss Tina's more Buddhist or Celtic? Just asking due to the background in the video.
Yeah, sure. Well, my lineage is Celtic, but I align a lot with the Buddhist philosophies and the middle way.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the question. That's I appreciate that. That's brilliant. Beautiful.
Kiri, my oldest son is in Calgary, so I understand that crazy weather. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, 7-7.
7-7. So the celestial body is Gemini. So we have another dual number. So the 7-7 Gemini twins. So when 7-7 anchors itself to the talent, you're dealing with the mystic big time here. A seer, the bridge between worlds, the catalytic, it's a catalytic master energy. So it's the beginning. it's the all-encompassing. It's the magnetic link that unites. And you can see by the little springy thing there on the corner, it looks like there's links.
Right.
So it unites. So you've got Zane, that you've got the links there, but you've got the sword that's gone through it. So it unites, but it doesn't hold. So again, it's this thing of impermanence. So you're an excellent networker. Well, we know that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this channel and doing what you do and being a conduit for bringing myself and amazing people onto your show.
Thank you.
So you're a great facilitator of groups. You love working with people and debating. And what you're really good at is that you're objective. You know the right questions to ask. And you can always see both sides of a situation. Even though you don't agree with it, you can see it. And that in itself is a major talent.
Let's just remind everybody, I did not pay you. All of those things.
We can sort this out later. So you go and seek wisdom. You know, your thirst for knowledge is just unbelievable.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's not. I try to start those. I'm about to ask you a question. It's not because I don't believe you. I just want to ask because I'm seeing it from a different perspective and want to understand. I ask 1,000 questions, and I tell people I feel confident in my role as a medium because when those spirits are coming in, I'm asking them 1,000 questions. Oh yeah, you say that you're dad? I want to know this. This. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
It's
and that's your and that is your objectivity. You know, you don't only ask the questions, but you embody the wisdom, and then it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like some channels will take it in and just speak it. You don't do that. You take the wisdom, you embody it, and then it comes out. So your soul is coded to perceive what others cannot. And that is why you have to embody it. Because if you sometimes, people that come to you, if they went to maybe another medium or another channel, it would come through it and it would come out as it was channeled. But the individuals that are on that side and on this side know that you will speak it the way that it needs to come out and the way that it needs to be heard. So it's you know, it's extremely strong there. So you've got very, very subtle archetypal energies and patterns and emotional undercurrents. So I've written down here whispers of the spirit. So you hear the whispers that others don't hear, or as I found out with the cord cutting,
I do. I'm like the dog that hears the whistle. I'm like, you know what?
And it's things like, you know, people. I mean, and I've experienced this with you. You know, someone that has never come through for me because they're a really difficult individual. They came through to you because they knew that their message, what I needed to hear and what they needed to say would go through you.
Yeah. I say those people are my favorite people to come through. And they always
absolutely
do. I warn people because people are not always ready for me.
Yeah. I can see that. So you're a pure channel between human consciousness and divine wisdom. You are here to refine perception into wisdom, silence into knowing, and I've written here solitude into service. Your spirit doesn't just connect to the divine, it translates it.
So again, this is okay. We agreed about doing this. We booked this show months and months ago,
Yeah,
months and months ago. And I was not expecting any of this. And I don't know if I had known how this was going to unfold, I probably would not have agreed to do it, if I'm honest, because it's very, and again, things that I need to sit with, why it's uncomfortable for me. Right. And we'll do some cord cutting about that. But thank you. That was beautiful. What you just said was beautiful. And it's what I hope to, like, it's what I'm hoping I am doing for people. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Spiritual goals? You're back on
Not wanting to come back. Is that a good spiritual goal?
It's a good spiritual goal. It's all good.
Okay.
The bad stuff was in the worldly stuff.
It was bad.
It's probably one of the worst ones that I've done.
Yeah, and I don't talk about it. Everyone keeps asking when I'm going to write a book, and I'm like, I don't feel like I really want to or need to.
You've been there. You've done that.
Yeah, and it's all free, folks. It's called The Stuff. If you use the contact form on the website and you just say The Stuff, my dear sweet friend who answers emails for me sends this package and an ebook, and I give it to y'all for free. Here's the stuff that I did when I was crying in the van. It's right there. Yeah.
So we're back to 6/6, thought and creativity.
Yeah.
Celestial body Taurus. We know that we had it before. So the 6/6 was in your spiritual challenge, but the great news is that it was your challenge, but it's also having it in the goal position means that the soul has chosen to evolve through one pure energetic frequency, and that is love. And it's a lifetime masterclass. So you said you didn't want to come back. You ain't coming back anytime soon because you've done it.
So thank you. I did a Life Between Lives session, and that kind of theme came up as well too, right? We have free will, but
so you are in this lifetime, you have been the student, but you're now the master, and it's now moving forward, love, balance, and emotional truth. You're learning how to embody love as a living vibration and not just as a feeling or duty. I mean, it's there, it's tangible. So when you got the 6/6 sort of in the goal position, the energy is so strong, you have little choice but to follow your desired outcome now. Your ideas, your creative ventures, your guides are urging you to be totally creative and expansive now. Lessons gone, done, learned. The 6/6 is your highest expression, to be the divine channel for healing, the energy, the living harmony. With both now the human, now it's all cleared, and the divine. And you are the inspiration through a heart-centered presence. And this comes up rarely. Not just words, but you understood. And you understand yourself. Which is pretty flipping awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me.
Thank you for allowing me to see you, because your journey has been amazing. And then we end it on your soul destiny in the middle there. And it's no surprising that your soul destiny is Tet. Some see it as a snake or a serpent, but I think in your case, it's the dragon.
That has come up all year.
Yeah.
In many different ways, dragon has come up from all year.
Major dragon energy. Celestial body of Leo. So the proud lion, the all-affirming lion. And this is 9-9 is beautiful. It's the peacemaking. It's the power. It is the protection. It's the 3 Ps.
I was born at 3:33 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is our 9 again, right?
Which is a 9.
Mm-hmm.
You were born for your soul destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Beautiful. So this is lovely. So it's on your own level, it's about embodying your qualities. It's about embodying the qualities of your strength, self-belief, and inner knowing. It's about claiming again, embodying your personal power and the potential, because you know that you are protected. You really are.
It's a very interesting place when you understand frequency and you get all of these things. When you are really taking accountability, I know that if I get in a Shiza kind of mood, which it does happen, but I don't sit in it, because I can feel where I understand that I am in co-creation with the universe in every moment. So if I get off kilter, I can watch it all go off kilter. And when I get myself back on track, it just rolls so beautifully. So I fully understand in every moment I'm in co-creation with the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. And it's about, the peacemaker being the catalyst for a change in living. A lot. You have a life. No, it's around service.
Yes.
It's around the life of service, providing growth to others while embodying what have I written here? While embodying the composure of diplomacy and compassion. And it's about being the catalyst for change. It's about global warming. It's about having that need for having the seasons and being with the seasons and growing with the seasons and growing with yourself. You don't stand still. You are an organic being. Your stature for standing still was in the beginning of your challenges, where you had Taurus in your challenge. You had to be made to move on. But then you had it again later on, where actually the bull was moving. So the lessons were learned, and you went from, the challenge position into a lot of movement. So this is fabulous. So you are the channel, the clairaudient, and the healer, embodying composure, diplomacy, and compassion. And there was a soul message for you that I channeled, if you'd like to hear it.
Is it PG?
It's lovely. It's
okay.
lovely. I think you'll appreciate it.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So, life is a game, a seeming maze sometimes, yet in every direction, the love is always there. Love, strength, flexibility, and abundance are yours, and yours alone. You have earned it. The light that shines is one and the same. It is in you, it is with you, and around you always. No longer isolated. You are in human form a co-creator, but in truth, one with that creative light that shines for us all and yourself.
I will cry later.
I'll send it through to you.
Thank you.
Maybe you can use it on a piece of artwork for yourself.
So I do. I write underneath. It's the base layer of every painting.
Beautiful.
There's something channeled underneath the base layer of every painting. Yes, I just had to ask. Right? That was so beautiful. I think that for me, I need it up so I can read it and process it.
Yeah. I will give it to you in written form, and then you can do whatever you like.
Yep, agreed. Everyone is saying
You, Caroline.
It is a gift. You are a gift.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I am eternally grateful for you for allowing me to carry out your very short soul plan. It was truly a gift, and I thank you for trusting me and allowing me to do that, because I know there were parts at the beginning that were very, very uncomfortable. Yeah. But it's done. As we would say in theta healing, it is done, it is done, it is done.
Yeah. Is that what? Tell me what that is again. What do you just say? Like, so I say it is done, is it done, is it done? Or it is done, is done, is done.
Yeah. So when we're to do sort of a theta healing exercise, once we've actually done the clearing and done the work, then we ask the creator for all that is, for, say, to give blessings to Caroline, or, you know, healing and light and all. And then at the end of it, we say, creator, that all that is, please. And then we give our spiel, and then we say, it is done, it is done, it is done 3 times.
So interesting. So, I mean, I've not had that teaching, but I've said that. So
so it comes naturally to you.
It does. It really, it does. And I know that I throw people off because I say that I don't buy a whole lot. Like I do buy books, especially if they are a guest on my show, because I want to be able to ask appropriate, thoughtful questions, right? But for the most part, I read Stephen King.
Yeah.
That other stuff downloads in real time for me. So that's where we go. Kate had a fabulous question. Sorry, Kate, I didn't mean to sit on that so long. So Tina, how did celestial bodies fit into the soul plan? Is there one celestial body associated with each of the 7 areas, or are they assigned by the numbers that person receives?
They're assigned by the vibration of the numbers.
That was beautiful. Agreed. And agreed, Laura Lee.
Love you too, Laura Lee.
Carrie is saying beautiful presentation for sure.
Thank you, Carrie. Blessings.
I find what's interesting about it is that for as long, because I've been doing this in this role for almost 19 years now. Wow. Right? Almost 19 years. I would say 2 years ago, when you talk about being stubborn and rigid, the selfish side of that part of the Leo in me would say, no, I'm not, but I see where I can be. I was very rigid with certain things, especially like astrology or any of this. I just didn't understand it. But then when you look at it, it's math. There's math, and it's black, white. There's black, white, and how it translates, and it has propelled me forward in understanding those different aspects, like astrology, what you've done, numerology, and incorporating that. And it's really helped me have grounded balance, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, the universe is made up of numbers. And what are numbers? Vibrational energy.
And I didn't have that in around, like, I didn't
Mm.
wrap that around my in my
Yeah.
head, right?
Yeah.
Until recently. And that has been life altering. And this is um the last couple of weeks have been super challenging for me. And I had said to people, Laura Lee, are you still in the chat? I'm going to message you something and ask you something really quickly so you can answer me yes or no quietly. If you're still there. I hope you're still there. It is very interesting because the Chihuahua brain for me can still rear up every once in a while, where I know that I need to put the Chihuahua in timeout because the coulda, shoulda, wouldas get big, right?
Yeah.
And the imposter syndrome for me last year was quite huge. This year, not as huge. Where I was like, I'm just going to show up in the work that I do, in the way that I can do it. Okay, Laura Lee, I just sent it to you. So there's still those moments, and it's always, like you said, when it's taking on too much. When I know that when I'm overtired, get hangry,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
a little hungry. It's not good for anybody.
No. Surely.
Yeah, that it can kind of kick back in there, right?
But the thing is now you know that now. Back
Yes.
in the day, other things would have taken over, and it would have just got more and more, and you would have gone down a rabbit hole.
Well, for sure. And I was a single mom with 4 children.
Yeah. I mean, God.
So the goal was, like, I was building my career while supporting them.
Yeah.
And making sure that they had a really good foundation. So that was the focus goal, and I feel I did a very good job doing that, right? Okay, so I asked Laura Lee if I could say this only because I wasn't quite sure, and I didn't want to get myself in trouble, because sometimes the salty words slip out, and then I get myself not a good spot. But okay, so that's good to know, because that was the one word. So she said there's one word that we're not allowed to say, and that was the one that I said. So that's when they got me into trouble. But it was, I think this year, my daughter is again still one of my best teachers, and I think that she's a better version of me. Like, I'm in awe of her. But she reminds me to have that big dick energy. She's like, just show up, big dick energy. Yeah. And so that's what I remember when I'm having to be in a space with other people, that I'm remembering what I bring to the table, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, you are the student and you are the master.
Yes, we are.
And you do this.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful balance.
Well, I still am going to feel a little awkward about this, because certainly things that I'm not used to hearing necessarily from where you feel or expect maybe you would, right? So again, where those places of triggering and shadow work and cord cutting still need to come into play. But I appreciate all of that. Folks, for those that are listening, audio listeners, and not watching, it is tina.lumasoul@gmail.com, and you can reach out to her to talk to her about your soul plan and understanding what your soul plan is and where you are in your soul destiny, and have Tina walk you through that process.
Sure. We can do a short soul plan, or we can do the whole Monty, right the way through up to the Akashic records and back down again, and do the awakening, the aligning, do some clearing.
Yeah, and it's fascinating, right? In my head, I just assumed that I was all of it. male, female, tall, short, heavy, thin, good, not so good, did all the bad stuff. I've just always kind of lived with that assumption. So knowing that I was needing to learn things and make amends in that as a whole, not needing to know the intimate individual information, pieces of information, because I know in my Chihuahua brain, I would latch onto that and then feel guilt and shame and sit with it. Right. So this I feel, does that without really, this was good for me. Like this is this
really go into the,
way
we
that I
don't
can
go into
process it.
nuances. Yeah. But the other thing that did come up in your soul plan that I didn't actually mention, and that is in one of your areas. When you look at all your numbers, they also have a direction, which I didn't actually say in this because we only have a limited amount of time. But actually, in your soul plan, you're not only north, south, east, and west, but you've got the upward direction and the downward direction. So what you're saying rings true to me, that you are all encompassing. There isn't one area where you go, oh, well, she's going down, but there's no sign of any upward facing direction. So, I can see where you come from on that, on a different level of the soul plan. So it makes utter sense to me. Yeah, you wouldn't go, well, I only need to go over there for this, or I only need to go over there for that. And if I do that down there, then that will take me over there. You don't do that. You look at the thing as a whole, whether it's north, south, east, or west, or wherever it is. You will go to the whole picture, and I'm not just going to heal that bit. I'm just going to go and heal the whole lot, which in your case is absolutely the right thing to do.
Thank you. And when I'm doing that for other people, I'm like, we got to make sure that we include past lives, this lives, future lives, alternate realities, and alternate dimensions to make sure we got it covered everywhere. People hear me say that all the time. We got to make sure that we're covering it from all directions, folks. We don't want any little sliver in there.
For sure.
Carrie Fast is sharing, I can relate, Carrie, that I didn't understand zodiac and past lives until the last several years. It's all math. I know. Crazy, right? Thank you, Sparky, for being here. Saying good night, everyone. Miss Carolyn, good to meet you. Miss Tina, everyone have an amazing night. Prayers and spoke. And everyone saying good night. So I know that we have a little bit, about 12-ish minutes, maybe. 10-ish minutes. Did you have there's so much I had wanted to ask, but do you have any traditions, Halloween traditions? How do you feel about Halloween? How do you celebrate?
Yeah, sure. So my family tradition, when my grandmother was alive, because obviously she was the matriarch that held it all together. So on Samhain or Halloween, so literally about a week or so before, my nan had quite a big garden at the back that faced onto a train line. She lived in London, but she had quite a big garden for that time. And we would build a bonfire. So Celtic tradition would say that we would need to have a communal bonfire. So there would be a bonfire that we would light, that we would gain wood, that my grandfather would get wood for, my father would go and get the wood. And we would have that in the back garden. Sorry, I'm just getting my notes here. So we would light a fire on the last sort of about 10, 11 o'clock at night. We would get the fire in and we would light the fire. Now that would be to take away all the evil spirits, and we would say our prayers and blessings. And then at that time, my grandmother used to have a fire in the home that was always lit. It was always going. But before we lit the bonfire, she would draw down the fire in the house and restack it again, ready for reburning, because at midnight she had to relight the fire for the beginning of winter.
So is it like a new year?
It's saying goodbye to the summer, and it's welcoming the darkness of the winter.
Right.
And also, if there are any, like my grandmother used to read the fire, so we would sit there and talk to the fire sprites. So she would say goodbye to the summer fire sprites, and then from the big bonfire that we would have at the back, there would be a lighted piece of wood that she would bring through to the house fire, and we would welcome the winter fire sprites that would come and protect us and keep us safe. Now, what we would then do is we would then have a big meal at the table. So the women would have been cooking all day, but we would always leave a spare chair, and there would be a plate of food for those that were departed.
Yeah, I do that
There
too.
was also another plate of food, because as we know, at midnight, the veil is very thin, and we lit fires. So there were fire sprites, and there were little fae that would come out and be mischievous. So we'd put a plate of food on the doorstep. So we would offer that to the fae, and any evil spirits that wanted to come and eat us, they can eat the food instead. And that was the beginnings of trick and treat, by the way. That's where that came from, tricking and treating. So we would put the 2 plates of food. Then we'd all come in, we'd ritually light the fire, we would eat the food. Now, there would always be a meat dish of some kind, or several dishes of meat.
Love that.
Yeah. So when we'd eaten the meat, and there would probably be, there should have been lamb bones and beef bones there. Now, the bones that were there would then be put on the fire. And that is where you get the name bonfire from. It comes from the Celtic bone fire, because you would then make your wishes. You would thank the animals for eating well on the grass and getting nice and fat and providing us with a good dinner. So it's a bit like the Buddhists do exactly the same, but not with meat. So we would thank them. We would then throw the bones into the fire. We would thank them for the food and for the harvest. And we would put a wish that we won't go hungry over the winter, and that we will be protected. And it would also give food to the fire sprites. And it would also give the sparks and that for them, that would help them dance about a bit more.
I love that.
Yeah.
I wish and that's where, when I'm talking about that homesickness, I didn't have that tutelage,
Yeah.
when I was younger. And then when I was not in that, when I was in survival mode, not there, but now having more of that understanding and able to do that with my granddaughter. Right.
Yeah.
And
it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and like when we were by the fire, like my nan always used to have a big apple tree. So we'd get the last of the apples that maybe had fallen, and as we'd put them in a pan of water. And as kids, it was, you had to grab the apple. Like you got to get the apple, otherwise you weren't going to get married.
Oh,
and if you
house in another house is the way to go anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And if you had the good-looking boy from or from down the road, you hope that he'd grab the apples and you'd grab the apple at the same time, because then that meant that we were going to be compatible. Right. And then of course we'd have the nuts, the chestnuts.
Right.
And the thing is that you put 2 chestnuts on the fire, you and your intended. would put the chestnuts on the fire, and my grandmother made my ex-husband do that. And the trick is to not make sure they're not wet, right? And make sure they're not conkers. They have to be edible nuts. And you put them on the fire. Now, if they stay stable on the fire, you are going to have a good relationship and a good marriage. But if one pops, it ain't going to be so good. And you can guess where mine went.
Oh, yeah, yours was a big jumper.
A big jumper. So my grandmother was a great one for the fires. Like I said, as a kid, you know, we know.
I love frying.
We never had telly. So, you know, we used to sit and she said, and what did you see there? Oh, yeah, well, that's a little baby dragon. And this one's, and what's the message? So my grandmother, my grandfather was very sick, and my grandmother got all the family, and she said, you know, you got to come, you know, grandpa's going, you know, your granddad's dying, you know, I want you here. You have to be here before tomorrow. And we all went, but he's got months to go. It's fine. Anyway, long story short, my grandmother said, there's a hole in the fire. He's not going to be with us. After midnight tomorrow, he'll be gone. By midnight the next day, my grandfather had passed.
Wow.
So she was an amazing lady. Some of the things that she used to see and that in the fire. She saw my daughter being born. Well, my ex-husband rung up and said, hello, Nan. She said, yeah, I know it's a girl. I know it's a girl. You don't need to tell me. Her first name begins with A. Yeah. How did you get that? So it's quite incredible.
Everybody's commenting about the chestnuts. That was
you got to do the chestnut thing. You got to do it. Not only do they taste amazing.
Thank you for sharing all of this. So it is tina.lumasoul@gmail.com for those people that are just listening. This has been so great. Thank you so much. There's so much information. I know that we were just scratching the surface, but I appreciate all that. I think I need to have you back on just to talk about all the Celtic traditions.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, some of Granny's stories.
I think that we should do a Granny night.
About the Fae.
We'll do a wise woman night.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Because my grandmother was Scottish. Was a Scottish Celt, and my grandfather was an Irish Celt.
That's my background too. I in one, like a couple of German in there, but Irish, Scottish in that same direction.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We cannot go sideways. We cannot go squirrel on Red Bull now, because Jeffrey Pritchett with the Church of Mavis is up next. So we do need to say goodbye. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. For being a part of the chat, and I'm so glad that you all appreciated and we're open to all the information that Tina so generously shared with all of us tonight. So, and everybody will be able to access the replay as well too. So once it's uploaded, you guys will have all of that information. So thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Thank you to Joe Montaldo, our owner, and Michelle DeRoche, our station network manager. Next week, folks, is the UPRN Halloween party. So at the same time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and all the hosts will be popping in and out. And we are taking over Jeffrey's time slot. So we have a lot of time, and we hope to see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much, Tina, for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bless you.
Very grateful to
you. Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Sweet dreams.